But the Torah, let's just say the whole, let's start this way. The whole Bria, the whole creation, is the 10 Sfirot, right? Because we said. Now, it comes in many forms, so to speak, or there's many parallels that it's being the same thing. The Torah is really another form of the 10 Sfirot, but it's in letter form. Okay? Now us, we are also a form, but we take on this human form. So Torah and Israel is the same thing. It is us. We are the Torah. One's in letter form, one's in this form. But we all match up. I have 613 parts. It's the same 613 parts as what the Torah is. It's not just I resemble it. I am it. We are it. It's that close of a connection that it is us. Now, even though you could have the water here and the ice here, but it's still they're the same property. It's true, I'm not the Torah. The Torah is the Torah. But whatever it is, neshama-wise, so to speak, me, us, and the Torah, there's a unity. And there's even a famous saying, it's a midrash, or maybe from a Zohar. It says, Kutsha brichu, and Oraita, which means Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is Hashem, and the Torah, and Israel, Chadhu is one and the same. Now when it says Kutsha brichu, it really means a reference to the Sfirot, not obviously to Hashem who created it. But we look at Hashem as He is of the Or in those Sfirot. Okay, but that's another lesson.
What's
Or is the light, or His presence, so to speak, in the Sfirot, however that is. Because He's even before that, which is you can't even think about. So even when we discuss God, you have to know which levels already are we talking about, so to speak. Not that He has levels, but it's our levels of seeing Him. Okay? So we have 613 parts. Where's the other part of the equation? If you remember with the Torah, we said there's 613 parts, but it was all within the 10 Commandments. So where's that in us? Where's that parallel? So here it is. If we're talking about our organs, heart, liver, lungs, etc., so what are they a part of? What is the heart a part of? We all know the answer, you just don't know that this might be the answer. The heart is a part of the circulatory system. The lungs is part of, now you can probably guess, respiratory. Do you know that if you look up in the encyclopedia, there are 10 major organ systems? And all of our parts are part of those. They are the systems. So there you have it. We have 613 within the 10, our 10. And what's within the 1? The brain. The brain is the nervous system which separates from the other 9 because everything's the brain. Even the other 9 work through the brain. The brain's sending messages constantly to all the other 9 parts. So it's an exact analog or parallel to all these concepts. Now let's just look into this.
What's interesting though is that men and women don't have the same amount of organs. Women have, I think, another 5 or 3.
That's right. There's something about the. There's a few points to say about.
We're not surprised.
The truth is, there's a few ways to look at men versus women. You could say that the woman is the malchut of the men, because the men are the 9 and she's the malchut. That's one way to look at it. I'm not going to explain because we didn't get into what they are. But just to say that is there's 10 Sefirot and the first 9. Well, the truth is I'll have to go in order because I don't want to lose anyone. You know what, let's leave that for now. But then, of course, the women also have the 10 systems, so it doesn't mean they're just one system and the men are 9 and they make 10. It's just it works this way as a parallel and it works another way, and there's many ways actually. But it's all there. All parallels are within it. Okay, it just depends what you're studying at the moment. Everything's relative when you're studying this type of material. Okay, another set. And it starts to get now a little bit more into what we're trying to say. We all have little cells, okay? Cells is the smallest unit of life. We're made up of trillions of cells. Actually, wait, one more. Oh, yeah, you want to say something?
No, I just sneezed. That's a good one.
Oh, bless you.
It was a cough.
Oh,
Just another quick thing before I get to the cell. This is important about the bodily systems, okay? Chim Tovim. We don't look at us as I have 10 systems in me. That's not true. You look at it this way. I am a walking 10 systems. It's not that there's a me and it's in me. That is me. I am that. Which means we are a walking 10 systems. That is who we are. That's our identity. It's not that there's another identity and we have them. Okay, it's an important point. Now let's get to the cell. Okay, back to the body because I have to compare something. We have something called the skeletal system. Okay? That happens to be the Malchut. Now we're going to answer your question a little. See, it comes in order. The skeleton, what does a skeleton do? The skeleton holds up and protects the body. That's its job, the bones. Okay? Because otherwise the heart and things, they have to be in their cages to stay put. So that's what the Malchut does. Whatever Malchut in theory of when we talk Sfirot means, that's what it does. Okay? It protects and holds up the other 9.
Nice.
That's kind of why the wife is also the one, she holds up the household and protects. That's kind of how she fits in being the Malchut. Okay? Now, when you look at the cell, the cell has a little skeleton too. The cell is a little dot. You need a microscope or whatever it is to look at. And whatever it has in there. And we're made up of these trillions of them. Again, they're not in us, they are us. We are a bunch of cells. But where did we get to the systems? Are we cells or systems? So here's what's going on. There's a little, it's called a cytoskeleton. Cyto for cell, like mini. There's a mini skeleton in the cell. It also has a little skeleton holding it up, however that works. And it has a little respiratory system and a little all the other systems. And it has the nucleus, that famous nucleus. We all know a little bit of science. Not that you have to learn science from science. Science is only really taught from Torah. It's all our stuff. It's all Bereshit. The nucleus is the brain. Just like we have the nervous system, it tells the whole thing what to do. The little nucleus tells the other little parts what to do. Now, obviously, if I would tell you to guess how many little parts in the cell there are, if already we're saying there's a little one of the respiratory and a little one of this, how many would you say there are? 10. It's the same 10. They're just mini. So here's what's going on. Where did systems come into play? When you have to figure like this, when millions or billions or whatever it is, little cells get together, or let's say this way, when a certain amount of cytoskeletons get together, they form a larger, more sophisticated skeleton. And there's the rib cage and the bones. When the little respiratory guys get together, a larger respiratory system is actually created in it. It's an advanced cell. A system is an advanced cell. It's all doing the same thing. The little cell is doing what the big system is doing. Can you imagine? Okay, so just take that in for a little second. Okay, now we have to start imagining. Okay, look at this. This little cell. Well, you can actually watch because I have to show you this to see my whatever I'm doing. This little cell is within me. It's within me. It's called a world within a world. It's a world of 10 within a world of 10. There's not the cell here and my body up here in a higher world. It's world within. And we see that a lot in different books. Olam betoch olam. World within a world. Usually they give the onion example, because it's also within. But this is also a great example. This is a cell example. A cell is within the body. Now, that cell that's doing the same thing as the bigger cell it's the same instructions that the little guy has that the big guy has. It's the same thing. They're doing the same thing. Now let's take it one step further. There's a cell within this. Who's to say this is not within a bigger body? And that's what is happening. That's what we're finding out. We are inside a body. We are the cells inside the larger body. Which body? The bigger 10 that we usually call the 10 Sefirot. You see? We are little mini 10 Sefirot in 10 Sefirot, and then there's more 10s within the larger 10. If that's true, if we're really in something, so you have to look at the world a little different now. The world is not an it. The world is a he. We're not in something. We're in someone. And you start to, when you think about this, you start to feel that. For instance, it means the world works. The world works. It's a living machine. Now, it doesn't mean there's somebody on top there that we're going to shake his hand. It's all us at the end. I'm just showing it's a living structure. It's not dormant and we're in like a building. We're in an alive being that's working. And it's all Hashem's instructions. It's the Creator. The same way the Creator is doing everything about me, He's doing everything about the larger self too. It's not working automatically. Just like I'm not working automatically. It's the same parallel. But the same way I work, I function. I have 10 functions. It's moving, it's doing. It's finding viruses and killing it. That's what's happening in the world. When someone does a sin, it's almost like through the walls they're sensing it. And it gets him out. You are doing good. You're helping the body live. You're gonna get good nutrients. You're gonna get wealth. You're gonna get kavod, honor. You're messing up the system here. You're causing damage to the big body with your little works that you do down here, even though you think it's so insignificant. Because we're all detected. Just like from my toe, the brain sees and knows and is directing my toe. Every cell. The bigger self sees our every move, and our every move is wired to it. Just like there's no wire from my foot to my brain, there's electromagnetic, whatever they are. Same thing, there's unseen wires from us all the way up to Shamayim, which would be all the levels. So if a person does something that's going to cause damage to the body, systems are in place to get them out.